map, we're going to create this realistic image. In the first part of this video, we created the football. Let's continue from there. Let's get started. We're going to use a mental ray renderer for this project. So let's go to Rendering, Rendering Setup. Under Common Parameters, we're going to scroll down, Assign Renderer. Then here under Assign Renderer, Production, click on the small settings box. Choose Mental Ray Renderer, then OK. Close the dialog. Now we have assigned our renderer. Let's start setting up our background. To do this, we're going to go back into Rendering, Environment. Then under Environment, we'll just quickly change our background color to black. Because for the first part of our video, we changed it to white. Now we don't need it in white. We're going to use an environment map. So now over here to Environment Map, click on the small None button. Select Bitmap. Now we're going to navigate to our Max files. Look for Maps, Background, and I'm going to use the Meadow. OK. Open up the material editor. Here we already have the black and white material that we used for our football. Now we're going to drag our Meadow map to the material editor. Click, hold and drag it over to the next empty material slot. Select Instance Method, then OK. We'll leave the coordinates as they are. It's set on Environment and Screen. That's OK for now. Close the environment map and the material editor, and we'll go to Views. Scroll down View to Viewport Background. Now we're going to enable Use Environment Map Background, disable Background, and just make sure it's got Viewport Perspective. Then OK. Here we are. Now we have our bitmap in the background. Press on the small plus sign in our perspective viewport. Choose Maximize Viewport. Here we are. Now we have a full view of our football and our image in the background. Can you see the grid that we have here? Okay, we're going to drag a plane across this bridge. So let's go to the command panel, select plane, and just drag it across the grid like this. Don't worry about the size. Let's adjust our plane by using the orbit tool at the bottom of the screen. We can turn it round. Use the pan tool to bring it down. And use the middle roller on our mouse just to zoom out a little bit. And we'll carry on bringing it down closer to the ground, like this. Let's adjust the position of the ball. Use the Select and Move tool. We're going to move the ball up. So it's just positioned on top of the plane like that. Use the Pan tool. We'll bring it down. Now we want to select just the plane. Go over to the Modify list, and now we're going to adjust the length. Just by dragging the roller up, we can spread the length right across the image like this. Here we are. I think it's ready now. Open the material editor. Let's select the next empty material and we'll drag it to the plane. Then we'll go back to the material editor, click on Standard, and double click on Matte Shadow Reflection. Here we are. You can see now we have a black circle in the material slot. If you look down here under Matte Shadow Reflection Parameters, we can see there's a black colored box, and next to it there's a very small settings box. What we're going to do now is go over to the top, click on this image and drag it down here to the small settings box and release it. Instance, then OK. Here we are. Now we have our image inside the small black picture. Can you see it here? Let's go out. Let's just do a render. Thanks to the special effect of the matte shadow map, it looks as if the football is in the scene. But if we add a couple of lights to create some shadow, the scene will look more realistic. Let's add some lights. Go down here to the bottom of the screen, click on Maximum Viewport Toggle and toggle back to the 4 viewports. Then we'll go over and select our lights. Behind the photometric lights, select Standard. Then we're going to click on the skylight and drag a skylight into our scene. We're just going to leave the multiplier at 1 at the moment. We'll go back again to the lights, and this time we're going to select a target spot. Let's drag our target spot out in the front viewport, right in the center and right down. Let's go to the modify list, enable shadows, mental ray shadow map, intensity we're going to change to 0.7, decay type we're going to choose inverse square. Now we'll just toggle down. Under spotlight parameters, the hotspot beam, we're going to bring it down, right down. If you notice in the perspective viewport, the inner circle of our spotlight is getting smaller. There we are. We want it just to the width or the radius of our ball. Now the fall off field, we can bring that one up. We can stretch it right out to the end of our plane. Let's scroll down to shadow parameters. Under object shadows density, let's insert 0.8. All we need to do now is add a camera. Let's go back over to the panel, choose cameras and a target camera. In the left viewport, let's set our camera. There we are. Back in the perspective viewport, click on the word perspective, then cameras. Let's correct the position of our plane. To do that, we can use the orbit camera from the bottom of the screen. The PAM tool to bring it down. Let's render. Here we are. Now you can see we've placed a 3D object into a 2D image and we've added a shadow. Thank you for following this video. Enjoy.